faces. What would the national anthem be? Okay, so God Save the Queen. Now, interesting. Well, I would like to just say a wee bit about God Save the Queen. Okay, you all know that. All of you sitting behind me, you 39 folk. Do you know the tune? Okay, hum a few bars. Da, 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 da. Now, does that ring any bells with you? Okay. My country, 'tis of thee. It's too high. Liberty, of thee I sing. Isn't it interesting that the national anthem for this country has the same tune? Or rather, it was here first. We nicked it. But still, it's another shared bit of history between the two countries. As I think it was Winston Churchill said, we are two countries separated by a common language. We are actually joined in so many ways. And the common language, well, I have to agree with him. Sometimes early on when I arrived, I would look at people and ask them to repeat and slow down and say it again, please. I just didn't get it. You know, the language was different. Now we're gonna head out of town in a less exciting way today. Well, a more efficient way. We're going to pass by the Commonwealth Pool again on the left, and this is where the diving is going to be held for the Commonwealth Games. As I said, America is not a Commonwealth country. Keith wants to know if we'd like to join. Do you know, I actually didn't know there was any issue about that. I mean, I really, maybe I'm just politically naive, but I don't tend to feel excluded in any way very often. Anyway, but when Bill Clinton was the president, I don't know if you guys were even aware of the rumbling turmoil that was going on between the United States and the UK. I really don't think you know that we were on the brink of war. Did you know that? Do you know?
Should have thought.
Oh, you were? No, I'm actually not talking about military war. I hope it was never going to come to that. It was all over bananas. And I'm going to tell you something that you just will not believe, but it was true. The European Parliament makes a lot of rules, and they make a lot of rules which, because the UK is part of the EU, we have to abide by those rules. A lot of those rules have to do with immigration, border controls, military, things like that. You know, very important things. Economics, trade, but trade, now that's an interesting one. When Bill Clinton was president, the EU passed a law that European Union countries could not trade with countries that America traded with. I'm not even sure what it was all about, but it boiled down to curved bananas versus straight bananas. And all of a sudden, we had a black market in bananas. And I can't even remember if the bendy bananas were the ones that were better or worse, or it was all so ridiculous. Too loud, too hot. Okay, we'll need a little air. I'm getting incensed up here. Too much hot air. Okay, so anyway, we were forbidden. The EU was forbidden from importing bananas that came from where the American banana interests were. And we had to just buy bananas from countries like Africa, and I think there was a British Guiana, and I can't remember. But anyway, it was a real hoo-ha. And we almost came to blows about it. And the reason, Clinton was so angry that the EU put on this trade embargo against the American banana interests that he slapped a huge embargo on cashmere. Now, cashmere doesn't hurt anybody but the Scots, because that's where all the cashmere is produced. We buy the raw ingredients from India, China, the cold countries where the cashmere goats are combed each year to give up their wonderful soft fibers. No goats are killed in the production of cashmere. It's just the hair that is combed from their soft underbellies. But it was something like an 80% tax. It was just huge. And it was going to put our cashmere industry completely under. So, boy, it was awful. For a while, I remember thinking, oh my goodness, are we going to go to war over this? What's the world coming to? We didn't. We didn't go to war, and it all blew over, and I can't even remember if it was the bent bananas or the straight bananas that caused the problem to begin with. But the year, yes. Yes, the EU, and that's one of the reasons why Donald Cameron, David Cameron, has been speaking about in 2 years' time, in 2016, he wants to have a UK-wide referendum on whether the people of this country want to stay in the EU or not. I don't know if you've had any of that on your news, but the EU really causes a lot of problems for the UK. And I don't know where that one's going to go either. But the EU spend an awful lot of time in Brussels passing laws about things that really are insignificant. For instance, they nearly brought down the chocolate industry in this country. And once again, that may seem like a totally ridiculous thing, but it isn't. They passed a law that chocolate could not be called chocolate unless it was a certain percentage of cocoa. And it just turns out that Cadbury chocolate is 2% under the legal limit of cocoa that was set by the European Parliament. Now, the European Parliament obviously has a strong lobbyist from France and Switzerland and Belgium, you know, the big chocolate producers. And it was clearly, there was no veil over this. It was a way of putting Britain out of competition. And Cadbury is the biggest chocolate producer in this country. Now, I don't happen to like Cadbury chocolate. I know. I only like their greens and blacks, their wonderful organic chocolate, the real stuff. And I suggest you all try some greens and blacks chocolate, which is the sort of excellent variety. But still, we nearly came to blows over that. And then, of course, they passed a law that you can't make cider north of the, cider isn't cider unless it's made south of the 50th latitude. And of course, where do our apples grow? It was one thing after another. So, and strawberries had to be a certain size. That really put the Norwegians' noses out of joint. And the Scandinavians grow tiny little strawberries. I mean, silly, ridiculous things. So, and sauce. That was another thing. You can't call a foodstuff a sauce unless it is smooth. Well, that's hitting right at the heart of a British Christmas dinner, because bread sauce is used on turkey at Christmas dinner, and you make bread sauce by taking bread and milk and butter and onions, and you cook them all together. And I can't tell you, but I mean, I'll tell you, it's lumpy. There's no getting away from it. Bread sauce is lumpy. It's meant to be lumpy. It never was meant to be smooth, and it never will be smooth. And for the European Parliament to say it is no longer sauce, it has to be called a bread condiment. That just isn't on. So it's that kind of thing that really gets us up in arms. There are very serious issues, too, obviously, that David Cameron is opposed to, and you will know that the UK has not joined the euro, and it is extremely unlikely that they ever will, because the UK has so much trade with other countries that are not members of the European Union, and it doesn't trust the euro. So, and we've all seen the economic history of the euro and the troubles that the EU has had with countries that just can't perform, and yet they're all, Germany is sort of holding everybody up at the moment. So, the European Union, that's another topic altogether. But I did want to say that I wore for you today, because it is the 4th of July. I wore the bicentennial American tartan. It is a scarf I have tied around my neck. It is red, white, and blue. Would you expect anything else? And it is the tartan that was created to honor the bicentennial, 1776 to 1976. So do make sure that you take a look at the scarf around my neck, because if it gets hot and muggy, I'm going to be taking it off. What'd I do for you?